Hey ladies, my name is Boo and I am here today to hopefully bring you a virtual, creative, relaxing, and empowering activity. So today we're going to do some hand lettering and some calligraphy. I am an illustrator and a calligrapher, and I've been doing it for about 5 years. I did our calligraphy envelopes when we got married, and I always joke, like, I wish so badly I had one of them to look back and see how far I've come. Because when you first start this, do not be discouraged. It is hard, and it takes some unlearning of the writing that you already do know how to do to learn calligraphy and to learn hand lettering. So be kind to yourself today. I have my favorite quote here. The worst enemy to creativity is self-doubt. And it's true. So don't doubt yourself while we do this. A little bit about me. Like I said, I'm an illustrator and calligrapher. I launched my art business in 2016. I used to be a teacher. I went to school to be a teacher and I taught in North Carolina, and then I got married to a Marine, and he is traveling me around the world, which I am grateful for. We have a 16-month-old. His name is Ever. He keeps us quite busy, and he makes certain that I only work for maybe like an hour a day, 15 minutes a day. And then we have a black lab who we love so much, and we're all quarantined together and trying to keep our cool. So yeah, like I said, I launched my art business in 2016. I do primarily illustration. It's so fun. I do so much custom work. So I have clients reach out to me all the time and say, can you bring this to life? Can you do this? What about this? So I'm constantly stretching those muscles and learning new things, trying new things. My most popular items are my family portraits, my house portraits, and my custom couple and people portraits. So it all really takes the things that are most important to us, the people in our lives, our kids, our families, and our homes, and brings them to life and highlights all the things we love. So I'm literally living the dream life. I'm so grateful. I love it so much. And hopefully today I can bring some of that creativity to you. When I was planning for this project and what I wanted to share with you guys, I immediately thought about some affirmations. Things that you can speak over yourself, that you can see throughout your day, that you can say to yourself over and over again to remind you of what's important when it's easy to get clouded by the insanity that is going on in our lives right now. I have a dear friend, Jen, and she has created affirmation cards. So she has several sets. She has the one that I have right here, which is self-worth. She has a set for motherhood, which we are going to letter one of the motherhood affirmations today. She has a set for kids, and I could not resist the one for kids. It's so adorable. I have big ideas. I am brave enough to try. I listen to my teachers. My kid is nowhere near listening to teachers, but I had to get these because I want to, I can't wait to establish them in our routine of morning or evening affirmations. So you have to check her out. I think that especially right now, we're looking at our walls, we're looking at the same things over and over again, and I hope that this activity today, where you can create your own hand lettering, can bring a little joy and beauty to your space and some confidence in your ability as a mother. I'm going to talk you through just some tips and tricks that I use when I am lettering a print, and you can use these for the print that I'm making today, or you can use them for anything you decide to write and hang up in your space. We are going to be using a affirmation from the motherhood set from Abundant Affirmations, and it's a goodie. So let's do it. The first thing that we're going to talk about is spacing and measuring. This is the boring parts. I wanted to get it out of the way early because you got to do it. Something has to be thought about if you want things to turn out balanced and looking good. So, for example, we're going to use the word mama as our sample word. So, super simple. It's 4 letters. If you were to put this on a piece of paper, you want it to be centered, you are just gonna count how many letters are in the word and split it right down the middle. So we have 4 letters. You are going to, if you have a long phrase or quote that you're doing, you're gonna count how many letters, and whatever divided in half, that's what's gonna be in your middle. And you're gonna literally space it out to make sure that it's right there in the middle. So that is key. Okay, so now we're looking at our paper. And the next thing when it comes to the boring lines and measuring is using a ruler on your paper, okay? So right here, I am going to, on either side, mark about 1 inch from the edge of my paper. And this is just going to ensure that if you end up framing this, that you aren't gonna cut anything off. And it also looks nice just not to have anything like too crowded up on the edge of your paper, okay? So I am turning it. Now we have 9 inches. I'm doing an inch over here. You could do a 1/2 inch, depending on how big your paper is. And you can totally skip this part, honestly, and just kind of eyeball the whole thing. But I find that doing this really takes the guesswork out of things. Because I think a lot of times when you guess, you're going to guess and check a few times before you get it just right. So this kind of helps know where you're going to put things, and it gives you that visual clarity. All right, so then what you're going to do is, this is 12 inches, so we're going to hit it right at the half. So we're going to hit it right there at the 6, turning our paper, and this is 9, so we're going to hit it right at the 4.5. And where those 2 lines intersect is going to be our T, marking the exact center of our paper. And we're going to use that as a guide when we're writing on our paper to help us space it out, okay? Now, for example, if we were using this, I am in control of my thoughts and my life, we would maybe want to break our paper into thirds. So once again, you can take your ruler. So that's going to be about 2 1/3. So we're kind of estimating 4th right there, okay? And then same thing on this side, 2, right there, I think I did it. And then 2 1/3, 2 1/3. This does not have to be exact. It can get frustrating when you're doing dividing weird numbers. Clearly, I think I did that a little wonky. Oh no, maybe not. Maybe it's perfect. So you do, I am in control of my thoughts and my life. And it just depends on what you're writing and how many lines you need. But I find that this is really helpful to help guide you when you are putting a quote onto a piece of paper. So it's really not the fun part, but it's important for us to do that. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is a little bit more fun. And we are going to talk about some different font options that you can do. So I think it's so fun to mix fonts. I really recommend doing about 1 to 2 fonts. I think a lot of times that if you're beginning and you do more than that, it can kind of get a little bit busy and kind of hard to see what's going on. So let's stick with 2 different fonts, but I am going to show you some of my favorites. Okay, so I'm going to turn to the blackboard here and let's use the word mama again. This is a trick for super simple block letters. So you'd use something that you could erase. So you want to be doing a pencil and you're writing out your word, just totally normal, standard capital letters. Then you're going to take your utensil and you're going to trace around the letters. Okay. Just like so. Super easy. Probably did this in like middle school when you would play on your paper doodle during class. So then you erase that skeleton part. And there you go. Super simple way to do block lettering, easy day. Okay, the next thing we're going to write is our calligraphy. Okay, so we're going to use the word mama again, And I'm going to show you two different styles of calligraphy. The first one I'm going to show you is a little more bouncy, and then the second one is a little more elongated and kind of elegant. So let's do our first one. I'm doing big round curves, round letter A circles, and I'm doing kind of humps that are a little exaggerated. This is my favorite way to do calligraphy. Super fun, super bouncy. Okay, so now for this second way, we're gonna do our elongated, more elegant style. So the key is in the tail. You want to make the tail long. And another fun thing you can do is slant it a little bit. So you can see how I really kind of turned it all to the side a bit. And that totally changes the way it looks. So those are 3 different ways you could do calligraphy. And now I think we'll turn to my paper and show you a couple more different ways to write. Just some super simple things you can throw in there is just capital letters. So just up and down, standard, normal capital letters. Then you could do lowercase. Plain. And then you can slant, just like we slanted with our calligraphy. Doing both of these a little slanted changes up the way it looks, okay? So the next one that I really love is called loopy letters. And it's like a combination of a capital print and adding some loops in. So okay, you see how I'm just like throwing in some loops there. So when we're looking at our block letters, let's do just an M. And then I'm going to outline it with my pen. And then you can add maybe some like stripes inside. And then of course you erase with your skeleton inside, leaves a really cool design. You can do that with polka dots, you can do it with zigzags, you can do it with all types of designs. So serif, you're gonna start with that capital again, and then we're going to thicken just parts of those letters. So I have kind of memorized which parts of the letters are supposed to be thickened because I've done serif a bit. And then you're just going to put little caps on each end of your letter. So those are just some different varieties of lettering you can do. Of course, the calligraphy is the most fun. I also encourage you to look around at different fonts. Fonts you see on newspapers, on Instagram, on Pinterest, when we go out and about again at like Hobby Lobby, at Home Goods. There's text all around us on branding, on different products you like the look of. So pay attention to the fonts that you really like, and you can start to practice those and add them into your lettering. The next thing we're going to talk about is one of my favorites. We're going to talk about how you can spice up your lettering. I'm going to do a gel pen. I really love a gel pen. First is the banner. This is like one of the most popular things that I'm asked to show how to draw. So you're starting off with 2 parallel like wavy lines. And then you're going to take your upper right ending of your ribbon and you're going to curl it in and then curl it out. Bottom left, curl it in and curl it out. Okay. Then you're going to close in this part. You're going to cap off your ends here. Then you're going to do a parallel ribbon line parallel ribbon line. Depending on how much text you're going to be putting in your banner, you might want to make it bigger or smaller. And you're going to add that little V shape for the end of your cut ribbon. And then this part you're going to color in. Easy day. Another banner option that's super simple is you can draw a rectangle. Then you're drawing 2 lines out and then a little V. 2 lines out and a little V. So that one is more straight, easy. This one's a little more 3D. So now some other things you can add to your lettering. One of my go-tos that's super simple is here is your text. And then you're going to do parentheses. And then you can do some greenery. So we can add, I tell people if you're starting out with doing this, just do some really basic round leaves. Round leaves are easy. You can kind of alternate from side to side. Whatever you want. You can make them tighter, you can make them looser. And then once you've had a little practice or you want to kind of venture out, you can do more of the pointy leaves. And I love this little just simple greenery look around your text. Another fun greenery look is, I call them the spiral roses. So you spiral into one direction and then you add some leaves. Super, super simple. That plus some color would look so cute. I think what's really fun is when you have a banner like this, to decorate it with some different whimsical greenery type things. So I have some branches with some greens on it. And this looks so fun, like with color or with black and white. It's just fun to add a bunch of greenery. So that is how you can add some embellishments and flourishes. Then the last one that's so easy is, let's say you have some text like this. Whoa. And you just take whatever utensil you're using and you can do 3 little lines on it like that to really fluff it out. So this is how you can spice up your text. All right, so we've talked about pencils. I've shown you my gel pen. I love a good gel pen. I'm gonna show you 3 different pens and kind of like how they behave on your paper. I have a little bit of water here. I work in watercolor a lot, and I also love something called gouache. It's a little bit more opaque, and you still have that watercolor effect where you can add more water and make it kind of a cool look. Then I have a standard Crayola marker. You probably have these laying around your house. We're gonna do that one. And then last but not least, this is a Tombow. It's called a Fudenosuke pen. I'm probably saying that totally wrong. This is a Japanese brush pen. This is by Tombow. These are all also by Tombow. Not this paintbrush. These Tombow pencils have a brush tip on one side and then they have a thinner tip on the other side. These are super fun to play around with, and they're also pretty advanced. This is a smaller brush pen. I really like that small tip. So we're gonna start with this one. Let's write hello. Okay, so I kind of just wrote that quick, and then I am going to take the brush pen and on the down strokes, down, the part of the letters that go down, I am going to make those a little thicker. Okay, so let's look at it again. When I say downstroke, when you're writing this letter, when you're writing this word, The downstroke is the stroke that's going towards the bottom of your paper. Okay. These are definitely a little more tedious because you have to make sure you're going nice and slow and smooth. Mama. Same thing. Thickening the downstrokes. So someone just told me they sell this marker at Target, which is really exciting. You can also get it on Amazon. I have it linked for you to check out. All right, so that's that. The next one I'm going to use is our Crayola. So let's do, this is super basic. You can do that. You can do the same thing we just did. Notice how I'm doing that same method I showed you when I wrote Mama. I'm doing it very round and kind of loopy. You can thicken the downstrokes on this as well to really mimic that faux calligraphy look. There we go. Okay, last but not least, is my gouache. Okay, so I'm dipping my paintbrush a bit into my water. This is my gouache over here with this blue. So this one I'm going pretty slow with. I'm going to dip, get some more paint on my brush. So you can see that like when you have more water, it's going to be a little more transparent. And when you have more paint, it's going to be a little more pigmented. I love that. I love the varying looks, okay? So that is the gouache. So those are just a couple of different writing utensils you can use. And then of course you can use anything trusty you have at home. Okay, so now that we've talked about all these different things, let's get into writing something. So these affirmation cards that I love so much, when I reached out to Jen about using them for this project, she said you have to use my favorite one from the motherhood set, which is I am a good mom. I am going to put this text in the center of my page, and I'm going to start with my pencil because I know that it's going to be nice to me. Okay, so I think I'm going to do block letters. I am a, for my first part, I am a, I'm going to do block letters. So I'm going to trace these. I'm proclaiming it, like I want this to be bold. And then I think for good mom, I'm going to do calligraphy. Okay, remember earlier we talked about spacing. So I have this centered. Good mom, I want to be centered, okay? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 characters, and then I'm gonna have a space, and then 1, 2, 3, mom. 4 characters. See that? So I have it right dead in the center. All right, I'm taking my black Crayola plain marker, and I'm going to finalize it. Tracing just that outer part of my block letters. Now, if you're not using a permanent marker, you want to be really careful not to smear, because if you rub your hand, if I were to rub this right now, it would smear. It's a washable marker, which is good. That's what we want, but you don't want to smear it. Okay? Now I'm going over my loopy round calligraphy here. So you want to make sure this dries totally before you erase it. If you erase it prematurely, you're gonna have that smear. All right, so remember I talked about that super easy, so easy embellishments on the side. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna do them kind of thick. I want this to be happy and proud. Being careful not to smear. I am a good mom. Oh, Jen, this is such a good one. There's our print. Super simple, super powerful. I don't know where I'm gonna hang mine. What room in my house am I the most impatient? I mean, all of them, but I'm going to do it, I think, in the room where I spend the most time, which is like our den and playroom area. So I think I want to frame this. Like, I want this to be a part of our home and like a part of our art. So I'm not going to erase anything until it's totally dry. I am a good mom. So simple and so powerful. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Hope you loved this. Hope you made a fabulous print. Check me out. I'm on Instagram at Boo Alejandro. My website is booalejandro.com. Come check me out, message me, tag me if you make one of these. I would love to see what you come up with. And check out Abundant Affirmations. I will have everything linked below. Thank you guys. Lots of love. Happy Mother's Day. Stay sane. See you on the internet. Bye, Fit4Mom Mamas.